And here we go. We're painting the deadstroke, probably more on a midnight blue since I want the texture going as comic book accurate as possible. I don't really like the dark undertones of colors on comic book characters. It just comes out rather, faded and kind of boring. So we're going to be trying something a bit different here and probably get the whole comic book accurate depiction of this character. Now, I want everyone to know that the print itself isn't really perfect. The person who made these type of designs didn't really put too much detail into the armor. And I'm not going to complain too much because it was free. But honestly, I really do think to myself, should I really actually go out on Pinterest 3D or something like that, like a subscribe kind of deal, getting the good prints, but I don't feel like paying monthly on it on something I really don't do too much often. But, I digress. Now, no one really asked me these questions, but I just want to answer for anyone out there who is curious or me just giving my whole idea about this whole thing. Now, first thing you need to know about me, I love printing statues in, giant quantities. Like, I do not like when they're figurine type height. It just comes off as like, why would you even, print it into the first place where you rather just go buy it at a store? And not to mention, it doesn't look the best on a shelf or anything like that since it's pretty hard to see, especially from far away. Another thing about me, I will never buy any type of hot toys, especially with the channels I see over TikTok and YouTube. It's just really not my cup of tea, and if that's something you buy and into, that's perfectly fine, but to me, I just consider them waste of money. Like, why would you spend to $400 to $600 on something that's not only huge and it's kind of hard to see from far away, but also it will break in under 3 years? That is pretty crazy just for one body part alone. Also, the thing from what I don't like about these channels or just hot toys in general, how much more Spider-Mans could you make? And if it's not that, how many more Iron Mans? And not to mention, all the copyright things that they have to go through to sell these toys will take years to either come through, making it really hard for you to get something new in your collection considering it takes about a year or either 2 for it to come out. This is why these channels are posting figurines from Target, Walmart, or going to an old thing back in the early 2000s and getting old figurines. It's because it's taking way too long. And at that time, when it does come along, how would you even know if you get it if people have it already on pre-order? Not to mention an extra $600 or $7. That is if someone wants to resell it for $1,000. 3D printing, I will say, is different. Not only do you have a whole cast of characters of Marvel, DC, video games, etc., but you also could find a subscription to websites that give you fine detailing figurines, and all you have to do is pay $10 a month. But if you're like me who don't like subscriptions, there's also websites where you could just buy it, and the highest I think will only go for $20. As for your 3D printing machine, all of them are pretty cheap nowadays, especially if you get them used. As it comes for the filament standpoint, it is also very cheap. You can always find the one that goes to $15 to $12 at any nearby lobby store that's near you. But if anyone's out there on a budget, you need to keep in mind that I managed to make not only the Slade statue, but also a Flash statue all in one roll, and they're practically the same size. So that should give you a good perspective of how many statues you can make with just one. Now, I understand that most people are going to be struggling throughout this new type of hobby since you have to get the machine leveled, get everything sorted out, make sure it doesn't make spaghetti, and of course, after you have to paint. But I'll tell you in the words of Frank from 3D printing, it's just all about practice and patience. If you manage to get anything else right, you made progress to anything else you wanted to do with this whole hobby. From not only that you always fix your machine, but you also declare a new skill of paint. But I understand if everyone out there isn't really into painting or neither have the patience for it. So by all means, there's always services out there that's willing to paint it for you for a certain fee. Bearing in mind that the most you'll probably be paying is around $60 to $50. Now, to some, I know that could be a lot for this type of thing, but it's better than paying $400 to $600. But trust me, if you got the patience or if you have the people, you'll be able to come up with something so amazing you won't be able to look away. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please follow and like for more.